Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Sanch, your host here on the Bodybuilding News Network. Welcome back to our pre-coverage of the 2023 Bigman Weekend, or Bigman Pro in Spain, as it always is this year. July 29th and 30th, which is today, is the regional pro qualifier. Tomorrow, I do believe, will be the actual pro show. To include classic physique and men's open bodybuilding is the divisions that we will have our eyes on specifically. Now, before I get into the lineup and my top three predictions, I did want to thank everyone for stopping by, watching the channel. If you do enjoy this style of content, please consider subscribing. We are going to be bringing back a lot of the long format podcast content, as that seems to be it's what I'm really passionate about, and I'm hoping that that is something that you, ladies and gentlemen, can align with and enjoy. So we will be bringing back a very cool show. It's all things 212, and then we will have another things all about fitness. Those are going to be two different pro shows specifically. We also will be bringing back Classic Kings. So a 212, a women's fitness, and a men's classic physique dedicated shows. So look forward to those shows coming back here on the Bodybuilding News Network. Also, a new weekly show called the Muscle Radio Weekly. The name is tentative, with your host, of course, Josh Sanch. We will be posting an episode on Monday. It's called Atomic Habits. It's the first episode. So if you enjoy the long format content, lots more to come in the near future. So thank you, everyone who has been along for the journey. It's been many, many years that we've been doing this, and I genuinely appreciate all the support. Now, let's go ahead and hop into what I think is going to be our top three prediction. In no specific order. At the very end, I will give you an order. But as of now, bring out the pen. I do not have my top three picked out just yet. But coming in on the first person that I think is going to be our top three here at the Bigman Weekend Pro Olympia qualifier, we have Roman Fritz. Now, this video we have here is of Roman Fritz 1 week out, as I said, from the Bigman Weekend here, around 263 pounds in this most recent physique update video on his Instagram. Of course, Roman Fritz with a Z, no space. And when I look at these physique updates, I feel like if no one else that is impressive or bigger than him shows up perfectly conditioned, I think Roman Fritz is 100% going to be your champion here at this show. I think he is the most balanced, complete, and someone who has always, and sometimes for a detriment of his own placing, has always been the most conditioned gentleman on stage, especially men's open bodybuilding. If you remember last year, he came in super over-dieted, really looked like he lost a lot of muscle, and he didn't place as high as a lot of people thought he was going to. He has made those corrections, even in some of the comment sections. Roman's been very vocal, and he's been communicating with fans, to include myself. And I thought that that is a very cool thing to see. Like I said, this is probably going to be my pick to win, depending on if anyone else in this top three shows up in perfect shape, the perfect amount of fullness, the perfect amount of conditioning, or at least 95%. So if these other two gentlemen don't bring it, Roman Fritz is going to be your champion, and you can put money on that. Now, next up, we have Emir Amaragic. I always mess up his name. Emir Amaragic, IFBB Pro. Now, this guy has done quite a few shows this year. The last one I remember, I think it was 2023, the Arnold Classic Brazil. He was in the top. He was first call out. He's always a first call out guy. I thought he looked phenomenal in that show. Very, very big and full. Conditioning could have been improved, but that also was a pretty decent lineup there. He has competed against, I think, somewhat competitive people in the past. So it's not like he hasn't not been on shows against other big name pros. He has done that for sure. But when he comes into this Mr. Big Evolution, the Mr. Big weekend, I think he's going to definitely have his hands full. This is going to be one of these guys. Of course, the top 3 is what we're talking about in this video. This is going to be one of the guys that if he brings enough conditioning, he could challenge Roman Fritz. I think he has more muscle. He has, not that youthfulness matters, but when you're younger, usually you can put on a lot of muscle. You can continue to improve. I can't remember how old Roman Fritz is. I know he's in his 30s. So this Emir is definitely younger, a good whopping 24 years old. So the guy's got his whole career ahead of him, to include the next person we're going to talk about. So this guy could also win. He's in the hunt. He's in a top 3. I don't see him placing outside top 3 unless something horrible happens with his diet, with the either diuretics or the depletion process or the fill-up. Maybe he spills over. I'm not sure. These are all things that could happen, and that's why he has a coach. He has a team there to support him and make sure things like that do not happen. Of course, best of luck to Emir Amaragic on the top 3 prediction from me here on the Bodybuilding News Network at the Big Man Weekend. And last but certainly not least, another gentleman that I have in my top 3 pick is Jose Manuel Munez Quelles. I don't remember reading his whole name before. Usually it's Josema_beast is what his Instagram handle is. Another guy that I thought has been quite impressive in this season, coming into his pro debut this year at the Embro Classic, I do believe was his pro debut, placing top 4. And then coming into this show, I think he's going to be one of these guys in the conversation. Clearly, I have him in my top 3. Now, the question is he going to be able to perfect the conditioning? Is he going to be able to bring the best package to date? Now, obviously, I just said that this was his pro debut in his last show. His last showing was his pro debut. So, really, the only way he can go is up. If he shows up less than what he did at his last show, I could probably see him falling out of the top 3. And it's no disrespect to the other gentlemen on the scorecard, some bigger names potentially. But when I looked at their physiques, when I looked at their accounts, nothing really jumped out to me outside of these top 3. And I know that's typically not exactly what we do here on BNN. We usually go through a complete lineup. But frankly, that's just something I might not be doing anymore. So do apologize for that, but I do want to keep this content quick, clear, and concise to keep you entertained and for me to be able to do other things in my life. Now, when we look at Jose, he's only 21 years old. So another very young gentleman coming into this show. Again, top 3 prediction for me. When we look at these guys, we got Roman, we've got Emir, and we've got Jose. I honestly think it's going to line up just like that. I think Roman Fritz is going to win the show. I think he's going to be my pick to win. And I think Emir Amaragic is going to come in second with just the better muscle density, muscle maturity, probably even better conditioning, I think. When I think about that most recent photo I showed first, that back shot, him working with Chris Aceto, I think has been phenomenal for him in his very young career so far. And in third place, I'm going to have Jose. I think that's going to be your top 3. I think that's a solid prediction. Of course, if you think I'm way off, let me know down below. If you think I'm right on cue and you think I'm absolutely right with this prediction, let me know down below. Of course, let me know other content you would like to see here on the Bodybuilding News Network. Check out my personal channel, Josh Sanch, if you guys are interested in that type of thing. But as always, thanks for watching. I'm your host, Josh Sanch, and I'll see you in another video.